So I've worked here for around 11 years now, I think, since 2001. And I've been in the tenancy service for most of that time, being the tenancy coordinator. And just for the current 12 months, I'm the acting CEO while someone's off on maternity leave. So Redfern Legal Centre was formed in 1977 by a bunch of law students, I think, who wanted to try and redress some of the injustice in the legal system, so making sure that everyone had access to free legal advice. We were the first in New South Wales and the second in Australia to be formed. And one of the people who helped to form Redfern Legal Centre is Justice Virginia Bell, who's now in the High Court, which is great for us. So we specialise in 6 main areas, although we will also try and give advice to any other vulnerable people. But the main areas we specialise in are tenancy advice, the credit and debt service, domestic violence, there's a discrimination advice service, there's employment law, sorry, it's more than 6. There's the police powers and government decisions advice. And then we also have a specialist service for international students as well.
My name is Michelle Schonstein. I'm the credit and debt solicitor at Redfern Legal Centre. I've been working in this role for about 2.5 years. We offer advice and assistance to clients that live within the local catchment area for Redfern Legal Centre, and it varies according to the type of service that you want to access. Clients can also telephone to make an appointment, and if they call up to make an appointment, we'll do all of the checks and make sure that this is the best service for them, and then we usually give them an appointment if they're eligible for one on one of the night advice sessions. An example of a credit and debt matter that might come my way is, I'll give you the example of Sally, who came to see me recently with her credit card problem. She had a credit card debt of about $8,000 that she couldn't pay, and she received in the mail one day a statement of claim, which was meant that the credit card company was taking her to court to try and get that $8,000 back from her. We helped her to make a complaint to the Ombudsman, and we were able to negotiate a really good outcome for Sally, and she's making regular repayments now and doesn't have to go to court, and it's all been resolved for her. We were also able to help Sally with some other problems that came up along the way. She had some tenancy issues, so we referred her to our tenancy service, and she got advice from them as well. Sometimes when a client comes to see us, they'll have more than one problem, and because we're a one-stop shop, we can help them by referring them to other services within Redfern Legal Centre.
So the idea is that we are here for people to be able to access the legal system when they can't afford a private solicitor. We are here to try and redress the imbalances of power. So, for example, we're here to advise tenants, not landlords, employees, not employers, generally speaking. So to access these services, people just ring up or come in off the street. Generally, it's for the Sydney City, Botany and Leichhardt local government areas, although some of the services are statewide services. I guess the other thing to say is that it's not always clear what area of law your issue will come under, but just people should just call us or come in and we can try and help them work out what that is. If we can't assist them, then we will find a good service that can assist them.
If a client makes an appointment with us, they will sometimes be given a daytime appointment, but more often than not, we'll put them on the evening advice session. 4 nights a week here at Redfern Legal Centre, we have volunteer solicitors who come in to see clients and give them advice about their matters. If they come in for an evening appointment, they'll get to see a volunteer solicitor who usually works at a law firm in the city or around the area, who comes in and gives up their time once a fortnight or once a week to speak to clients and give their assistance. If a client comes in on a Thursday night, which is the credit and debt night, that means that they're coming in to get some advice about a credit and debt related problem. They'll see one of the solicitors, and we'll either provide them with advice on the night that they can go away and continue to take action on their own, or if it's a problem that we see as something that we might be able to provide ongoing assistance with, we'll consider taking the matter on, subject to whether or not it fits within our criteria for taking matters on. In that case, we'll give representation and assistance, and sometimes that might involve court representation. It may involve negotiating with the other side, and it may involve just providing more detailed information to the client so that they can take steps to resolve their problems themselves.
We get some government funding for different services here. For example, we get some funding through legal aid, some through Office of Fair Trading, some through family and community services, and some through FACSIA and other departments. Some of the money, for example, the tenants service money comes from the Rental Bond Board, so it's actually tenants money that's going towards tenant services. We feel we're quite underfunded, even though we're one of the largest services. We still feel quite underfunded with a huge demand on our services, especially in the inner city area, which has a very high density area, a lot of tenants, and a lot of people that really need to be able to access free legal advice. Not all of our volunteers here are law students. We have other students as well, and just other people that volunteer for us. So if anyone is interested in volunteering, they can look up the information on our website, or they can give us a call. And we have 2 intakes a year where we put people through the training before we put them on the front desk.
I volunteer at Redfern Legal Centre not only to give me some experience in legal work, being a law student, but I live in Redfern. I've lived in Redfern for many years, and I like Redfern, and I've recently bought a flat not very far away, and I really believe that I should be contributing to the community in some way, and this is the best way for me to contribute to the community. I don't know.
We try and give our volunteers good work experience. So even though they start out on the front desk answering the phones and doing some general casework, after that we try and put them with a caseworker or a service to do more casework and get more experience. Sometimes this can include giving advice on the phone, for example in the tenancy area where you don't need to be a solicitor to give advice. And the law students find that this is a fantastic experience.
I'm one of the newer volunteers. I'm a little bit less experienced. I started earlier this year, so I'm just still getting used to Redfern Legal Centre and learning new things, and it's really fun. One of the things that is the main role of the volunteers is listening to the client, being the first point of contact, and just discerning what their legal issue is and finding out how best to help them with their issue. The staff were all really friendly, and at first I was really nervous, but everyone was just so nice and lovely that it was hard not to really enjoy my time here. And I feel like everyone's really committed to, doing something in social justice and helping people in the community.
On the evening advice, we also have private solicitors volunteering, which is a fantastic way again to give back to the community. But it also gives the private solicitors different work experience as well. They get different types of legal questions here. They sometimes get more direct contact with a client than they might get in a big law firm, especially for a junior solicitor. And so I think they usually enjoy the experience, and even though it's still legal advice, it can be a totally different role when they come into Redfern Legal Centre to volunteer. You can find us on the internet at rlc.org.au. You can call us on 9698 7277, and that's the main ways you can find who we are. There's more information on our website, for example, fact sheets as well.